Thank you, Simon, for the kind introduction. Hello, everyone. I am delighted to be here with you today to talk about the new international consortium of Parkinson's multi-arms, multi-stage platform trials. I know it's a mouthful, but the core idea is very simple. Basically, we're bringing people and teams together from different studies so that we can move Parkinson's research in a better way, maybe faster, smarter, and more efficiently towards our one common goal that Simon mentioned at the beginning of this talk, which is to find a treatment that will slow stop, or reverse Parkinson's disease. So maybe I'll go back a bit at the risk of being redundant. Simon talked about the specificities of a platform trial. In a traditional clinical trial setting, every drug has to go through several phases, and we create a clinical trial with phase 1, phase 2, sometimes phase 2A and B, and a phase 3 to be able to test it. So it takes a lot of time and a lot of money. And the advantages that we have with platform trials is that they are these like big ambitious structures that test multiple treatments within a single flexible structure. So if there's a drug that's not working, we can drop it, we can plug in a new one, and for each of these drugs, we can make sure that we have interim analysis sometimes to be able to see if it's working or not. So this approach can save a lot of money, a lot of time, and it lets researchers find effective treatments a lot faster. So across the world, there are multiple platform trials in Parkinson's that are already either underway or in development. I've counted 2 in Australia. We have 1 in the UK, 2 in Norway. You just heard about it. 1 in France that is in development, as well as the P2P trial in the United States. Now, each of these platforms works slightly differently, but they all share a common purpose, which is to find disease-modifying treatments faster. So if I start with the first platform trial that was launched for Parkinson's disease, it was launched in Australia. It's called the Australian Parkinson's Mission, or APM. It was conceived as an Australian-led international collaboration between the Garvan Institute of Medical Research, Shake It Up Australia, Cure Parkinson's, the Michael J. Fox Foundation, and Parkinson's Australia. So APM1 is a phase 2 trial testing 3 candidate drugs, you can see here, against a common or shared placebo arm. Final patient visit was earlier this year, so we're looking forward to results soon. And there's a second platform trial, APM2, that is also underway, which will be testing another 3 candidate compounds, and this time they have Ambrexol, doxycycline, and the third arm is actually a combination of both. So we talked a lot about combination therapies, which will be very interesting. The third platform trial to launch is actually UK's own EJS ACT-PD, which has just kicked off recruitment, but it will be presented right after by the formidable Georgia Mills, so I won't be talking about it a lot. We, of course, have the 2 Norwegian platforms, Sleipnir, that Harris just talked about, it's like formidable talk, and we also have the Hydra platform that is in development, so phase 2A and the phase 3 clinical trial platforms. We also have a new platform trial that is in development in France called the NSPARC Master Trial. It's a phase 2 type. It's set up by the French NSPARC network, which brings together 27 PD expert centers. So it is expected to be funded by public and nonprofit organizations, including the French National Infrastructure for Clinical Research, as well as France Parkinson Charity Association and the Paris Brain Institute. They're in the process of finalizing their infrastructure and confirming their candidate selection, and will hopefully start recruiting by 2026 or early 2027. And finally, we have the Path to Prevention, or P2P platform trial, which is sponsored by the Michael J. Fox Foundation. Now, you've heard about it a bit. This one is a bit different. It is designed to find treatments that could delay or prevent Parkinson's before symptoms appear. So basically, they're recruiting people at the prodromal stage of the disease. So people who show early warning signs, we talked about it before, like rapid eye movement sleep behavior disorder, or hyposmia, or even brain imaging that scan the deficits. So this platform, it will test medicines that might stop Parkinson's from developing. And if it's successful, it could open the door to a real new era of prevention-focused research that we don't have so much in Parkinson's, where we don't just treat it when it starts, but we work to stop it from taking hold in the first place. So that's very exciting. Now, you've seen this diagram before. It shows all the platform trials. They're all very different, different phases, phase 2A, 2B, or 3, different types of drugs, of course, and they're recruiting people at different stages of Parkinson's. But the important note here is to consider that these platforms are not competitive, but rather complementary. So for example, if we're looking at the Sleipnir trial, which is a phase 2A, it will de-risk drugs, and promising drugs from this phase could then go on to a phase 2B or even a phase 3, which has a broader inclusion criteria for people with early to advanced Parkinson's disease. And if we test this effectiveness here, it will go back to phase 3, sorry. And therefore, it can allow eventually for regulatory approval. So if you have it. So back in November of last year, leads and coordinators of all these platform trials, they got together here in London at the invitation of Cure Parkinson's with the aim of initiating an international collaboration. Over 2 days, each team shared their platform design, progress, and timelines. By the end, everyone agreed that an alliance between all of them is an opportunity to share resources and learnings, harmonize study procedures wherever it's feasible, and most of all, avoid duplication of efforts, which is very important. So this collaboration began taking shape in April of this year. It's supported by Cure Parkinson's and France Parkinson, and the consortium is going to be structured around the consortium steering group and 5 working groups that are all focused on harmonization and knowledge sharing across all of these platforms. So the first working group will be designed for drug preparedness and industry engagement, which is very important because they will try to optimize drug selection processes across all of these platforms. So as I said before, the advantage of a platform trial is that it has this flexible infrastructure and it's sustainable. It should be sustainable over a long period of time. So we allow the simultaneous testing of drugs, and each one is replaceable if it doesn't work with a new compound. So it's very, very important to ensure the readiness of candidate compounds whenever we need it. And despite all of these platforms having slightly different selection processes, they all benefited from the dossiers that are discussed at the International Linked Clinical Trial Program that is created and led by Cure Parkinson's and the Van Andel Institute over the past several years. So basically, we have this pool of candidate drug compounds that each trial or each platform trial plugged in. So moving forward, this working group aims to guarantee the readiness of candidate compounds for inclusion whenever needed, and mostly to add confidence in the drug selection process. Another very important aspect is industry interaction and engagement, because each platform trial is trying to integrate industry partners or making sure that selected compounds are readily available. So by promoting collaboration with biotechs and pharma partners, each platform is trying to do the same. We're turning this into a more global effort, hopefully, and this could be crucial for positive outcomes. Next, we have a data and analytics working group to support, as I said before, the harmonized data collection and to also hopefully enable cross-platform comparisons. So all these platforms have agreed to try and harmonize as much as possible. Of course, harmonization is very complicated. It's not always easy. We're at different countries, different laws, different data rules, different languages. But I guess when teams share their problems, they find a shared solution. So by pooling the expertise, we can anticipate barriers like, for example, GDPR differences, or biomarker logistics and solve them once instead of solving them 5 times. Next, we have a biomarkers group to agree on common ways to collect, handle, and share biological samples, but also brain scans from these trials so that researchers around the world will be able to compare results and confirm discoveries more easily. So most importantly here, we're trying to find a reliable marker for Parkinson's faster. And that's what Harris said before, finding these markers are very important to be able to conduct successful clinical trials. Next, we have a funding and sustainability working group to ensure the long-term financial and operational sustainability of each of these platforms, but also of the consortium itself, because we want to make this international collaborative effort make sure that it doesn't stop after a few years. This can only happen by building strong partnerships with funders, regulators, and decision makers. And last but not least, we have a multinational patient public involvement and engagement group to ensure that PPIE groups from each of these platforms connect, communicate, and align on shared goals that transcend individual countries. I mean, we heard it several times, Parkinson's may be a highly heterogeneous disease, but it is a global one, and we all share the same goal. We want to make life better for those affected, and we want to find a cure. So basically, we have this common goal. Now, the majority of these platforms are significantly supported by philanthropy and research charities with funds that are raised by the Parkinson's community itself. So it is vital that duplication is minimized and maximum impact is assured. The next step is another meeting here in London, which will begin in 2 days' time. And all of these groups will again show the timelines and the advancement of their platform trials, and also hopefully be able to align on a 2-year roadmap. And the hope is that by 2027, any new Parkinson's platform anywhere in the world can just plug into this network instantly and benefit from shared learnings. I think these are really, truly exciting times for Parkinson's research collaboration around the world. Each of these platforms, they represent a remarkable effort built through collaboration between clinicians and researchers, people living with the Parkinson's, funders, often across different teams, different institutions in the same country. Now imagine if we can link all of these people together, link these efforts, not just within countries, but across them, by sharing data, processes, resources, and lessons learned in real time, we can build a better and stronger future for Parkinson's disease research. And on that note, thank you for your attention.
Hi, you're going to be using AI to help look at this group and all your organizations have a common area to look in. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Yes, of course, AI is an immense field, and we can use it in several of these working groups, especially now we're talking about using it for drug selection processes. So we'll be exploring that. We can also use it for data sharing. So we're hoping that it will be a strong addition to these efforts. Yes, of course. Thank you.
I don't have to turn it on. It strikes me that all these initiatives are funded by charity, by hopefully some government contribution. Is the data you're producing and going to be made available to Big Pharma? And where is the opportunity here for big pharma investment in these initiatives?
Well, it's very important to include, of course, biotechs and big pharmas in these. I know there's a lot of regulatory aspects about this, but each one of these platforms is trying to court industry partners to be able to plug in. But of course, they will have their own agenda somehow. So we need to be careful, but definitely these data will be shared. Of course, depending on the regulations of each countries, more or less. The most important aspect here is to sharing between us, so sharing between these platforms, and then see how it's being operated with collaboration with industry partners.